Hello everybody, and just here and welcome to Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, a brand new entry to the channel, a brand new entry to the season, and yeah, I don't know what to expect. Again, I'm a little bit behind because the second episode has already aired and the third episode is going to be airing shortly. But life happens, and sometimes you have different various, I don't know, latenesses, I guess you could say. But we're here, and hopefully we're here to stay with this series and with others that I talked about during my live stream, during my seasonal live stream, so you might want to check it out. Also, if you want more details on Benriya something. Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku. I'm going to be honest. I know close to nothing about the series besides the very basic premise, and the title in English is Handyman Saitou in Another World. And the premise is that a handyman got isekai'd. And that's essentially it. In the trailer we see him picking some logs for some lady that couldn't get into her house. So he probably knows things like, I don't know, plumbing, picking logs, fixing stuff, right? A handyman. So he's going to be useful in the party, in the fantastical party of fantastic characters, to pick locks in the chests in the dungeon, or to fix their armor, or to sharpen their weapons, or to do all sorts of things that a handyman usually does. It's certainly going to be, well, certainly, it is shaping up to be an interesting take on the isekai genre and on the isekai protagonist genre, for sure. Usually, well, not usually, because in the recent times they are actually trying to make the main characters a little bit more interesting, a little bit less just overpowered hero gets woken up in a world and he's doing overpowered skills and killing the demon lord. Right, they're trying to kind of step away from that trope a little bit, and thus we're having shows like Reincarnated as a Sword, just to give you a first example that comes to my mind. Or that's more in the manga light novel world so far. None of the series that I have in mind actually made it to be an anime quite yet. But there are series where the main character actually has like some very specific set of skills that genuinely doesn't make him overpowered. Like a skill that allows him to grow potential of other characters. He himself will forever remain weak, but he can boost XP gains of members of his party. And how can he use that, right? Those sort of things. So hopefully we will see Saitou-san just be a handyman, just be a Saitou-san, and he's not gonna get some magic boss-killing abilities somewhere down the road, which is another trope that often happens in isekais, right? They start as, my life as a gardener, and the character gets reincarnated as a gardener, and through gardening they gain overpowered skills, and in chapter 17 they fight the demon lord, and what was the point of the gimmick if you just got rid of it? Hopefully this series isn't going to get rid of the gimmick, but that of course remains to be seen. If you're new to the channel, if you're unfamiliar with the structure of those videos, now we're gonna watch it. I'm gonna react to it, comment on it live with a timer down at the bottom, then we're gonna go through it again, then I'm gonna go through the staff, the studio, stuff like that, and then we're gonna close it up with a short summary. Everything is timestamped down below, so you can watch just the bits that interest you, or you can watch the whole thing. That would be preferable to YouTube's algorithm, probably, I don't know how it works. I don't think anybody does. I don't think YouTube themselves know how their fucking algorithm works. But yeah. Let me spare you my rambling. It's already been 5 minutes. And let's just get into it, shall we? So, you're gonna need subs. Why did it black out for a moment? No matter. You're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along. I'm gonna need my sound to know what's going on, and I'm gonna need your support, of course. Monetary, Patreon, thrown links in the description below, or if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It's free, helps the channel still. And with that out of the way, we can start watching. What was the title again? Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, episode 1, version by subs please? Subs, please, I think. Horrible subs doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, version by subs, please, of course. And we're gonna start watching in 3, 2, 1, go. The handyman who got a new life in another world. Okay, we're being dropped in medias res. Lockpick set. Hello, this is the lockpicking lawyer, and today we're looking at the lock in this ancient crypt. It's been made by Masterlock, so it shouldn't take us all that much time. Click on the 2. 1 is binding. Little click on the 3. I'm hoping someone's gonna use clips from this show and they're gonna sub lockpicking lawyer for them. That'll be amazing. Classic Masterlock. Takes no time at all. No. Not a cylinder lock? Oh, magic. Okay, so you're gonna need to lockpick it and dispel the thing at the same time, right? I'm double checking if I'm not watching second episode by chance, but no, it's the first one. Hopefully it's not a mimic, and it isn't booby-trapped. Who knew they're gonna make lockpicking lawyer into an anime? Yeah, that's the scene from the trailer. Yeah, but learning how to do it in a minute took 7 years. Pro tip for people who are working: even if you're done with your job, pretend you're still working. Always pretend that what you're doing takes much more time than what it actually takes. And it's a mimic, of course. Oh, that's a nice mounting mechanism. Okay. There isn't a scabbard, it just has a hook thing. Armored warrior, alright. Let me fix it up for you. No, I can take it off only in front of my future husband. Or something like that. What'd you know? It's a waifu. Okay. It just needs a new rivet. Okay, so he does absolutely everything. And she likes dogs. And she likes cute things in general. But, oh no, what an unsightly scar. I'm not a blemishless maiden anymore. Probably something along those lines. Unblemished. That's the word, not blemishless. Morlock. Okay. No, he's just a psycho who walks around and mumbles to himself. Okay, so early onset late onset dementia. Oh, he teleported into the wall. Great. Into a fucking golem. That's even better. Okay. I mean, that works. He just became a centaur. That's some interesting color palette to the world. Okay. Hopeless. Oh. Okay. Alzheimer's. Okay, great. What a party it's shaping up to be. He's just gonna Leroy Jenkins in... Oh, no, he's running with the zombies. Sure. And the fairy just has a turn undead spell. Okay. And he rests you. Okay. Okay, so apparently... I was about to say that apparently as long as you have the body, you can resurrect people. Divine Magician. Lafanpan. Okay, she's the healer. CG coins, why? No, it's her money. Yeah. I mean, she is using a bag. A pouch, I guess, but... Okay, some leather working. And actually, like, true to life. Oh, a backpack. One gold coin, then. Okay, that's a bit more than a healing spell, I think. Is this series originally like a short strip format or yonkoma or something? Too much for yonkoma. But like short form series. Because it's been 10 minutes in and we kind of got through like, what, 4 or 5 sub-stories, so to speak. I mean, it is a valid unit of measurement. They're probably using it somewhere in the US. Or you're probably full of shit. Or maybe not. Maybe it's the actual story. Okay, so it is an assortment of short stories. And here I was expecting a coherent story. Yeah, Dwarf Magician is unusual in the first place. Double shields? Okay. You go boom. Makes perfect sense, actually. Hell yeah! Heavy magic tank! If I were to play D&D, I would play as this guy. Like, no joke. No joke. 2 shields, a staff of explosion. Just roll into the middle of enemies and fucking explode. He's using the staff and she's using the axe. Yes. Perfect. Okay, young Rory Mercury. I like her. I like the little animation with lockpicking. Humst. That's a cool looking armor. Oh, I love this armor. Looks like fucking Albedo. Albedo's armored form. For the Handyman. Oh, it's Raelza. Raelza. That's a dope-ass armor. How'd you know his name? Yeah. I mean, why are you embarrassed? That's a dope-ass armor, girl. Oh, she was in disguise. Gotcha. Instead of like Groucho Marx glasses. Maybe don't grab it by the blade, though. Is he gonna fix it? Oh! Okay. I don't know where he picked up that kind of a skill, but hey, it's useful. And he forgot the incantation. The best defense is a good offense. I mean, of course. Haven't you seen her blush this much? I mean, you are good at unlocking things and fixing stuff. You're essentially an artificer. Learn how to make turrets and stuff, and you can be an artificer. I mean, that's also a way to go. Sure. Whoa. That's a roller coaster of a ride. That's a lot of lizard men. No, those are like goblin things? Probably kobolds. There's no set archetype of a kobold, I figured. There are lizard kobolds, dog kobolds. Anything can be a kobold. Do you remember the chant? Good thing they're politely waiting. Of course. Of course you forgot the chant. Okay. I guess Saito is going to be useful. There's some great animation to this show. The fluttering cape. I guess two of them being being half a wizard each make up one whole wizard. Saito memorizes incantations, and the wizard casts them. Yeah. Okay, he leveled up. That's some ASMR water dripping. We're Arifureta now. It's fucking Arifureta. It's just Arifureta. Interesting that the lower you go, the harder it is to use magic, apparently. Or magic becomes less effective. It was trapped. I guess the water doesn't heal him, so it's not fully Arifureta. That's a very interesting detail. Time to get some rope. You would think that when you go dungeoneering, a length of rope would be like the most base thing you have with you. Yeah, they're gonna come for you. They're your friends, your companions. Exactly. Okay, so you can use something to shine some light. Oh, it's a... Okay, it's a flashlight. I was wondering how are they using magic to light the way, but... yeah, probably don't stand up with a broken leg. Yeah. You're the thief artificer of the team. Opening? Opening. Or maybe ending. I don't know, hard to tell sometimes. Perhaps opening music, but with ending credits? Not an actual full-blown ending? That was much better and much more fun than I expected it to be. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't seen any other shows of this season, and I already know this is a hidden gem. I mean, plenty of the shows that are airing this season I've read the manga of, so I know they're good, right? But... this one in particular is... exceeded my expectations, right? Because there are other shows that I know are gonna be good, like Magirevo. I've read the manga, I'm up to date with the manga. I know the manga is good, so the anime is also gonna be good, right? This one, I had no expectations, and it exceeded them well, like, above. Okay. Okay. So that was episode 1. So how about now we watch it again? Shall we? Let's see. I really thought we're gonna perhaps start in medias res, the way they're starting it here. And then he's gonna pick the lock or something, and we're gonna have an opening maybe, or some cat image with the title perhaps, or something like that, and then we're gonna jump back in time to how he got isekai'd. But it seems when it comes to his pre-isekai life and current life, we might get a little bit of like, not quite parallel storytelling, but his story pre-isekai will probably be told by a flashback here and there that will eventually lead us to the moment where he got isekai, probably via Trakkon, as they always are. Another big surprise is the quality of the art and the quality of the animation. I was honestly expecting a somewhat cheaply made show. Also, the wings on that ferry are animated on ones, which is interesting and cool. I wonder if they're CG. They don't seem to be. I wasn't expecting this quality of like background art and character art and everything art. The art style reminds me a lot of Saihato no Paladin. I wonder if it's the same studio. The line art in particular. The line art, you can see it on the hair of the wizard guy. And on his hand, on Saito's hand right now, the line art isn't uniform thickness, right? At times it's thinner, at times it's thicker. It's almost as if it was made with like ink, right? Like it wasn't made with a tool in Photoshop with regular set constant width, but rather with like a really small brush or a fountain pen or something like that. That you can see the slight wiggle as if it was actually scratching on paper. You see the difference in the width of the line everywhere, and in the creases of his fingers you see the ink laid a little bit thicker. I love this. I love this art style. And I love the very similar, if not the same art style in Saihato no Paladin. I really wonder if it's the same studio. I guess we're gonna see that soon enough. Open the treasure chest. Saito feels fulfilled. I was in such a bind. Yeah, combined the travel, work, 7,000 yen, when it didn't even take a minute. Yeah. That's kind of two things in one. One thing, sure, it took him a minute, but it took him years to learn, to master it to the degree where it only takes him a minute, and you're paying for that. You're paying for the time he spent learning. You're paying for his expertise, not for the time he actually spent. Second thing, people don't understand that concept. People are usually like this lady. So if something takes you much less time than needed, don't tell anybody. I had a programming job, right? And I had a task that was estimated to take like, I don't know, 2 days, for example. I was done with that task in a day. And I didn't submit the changes. I was done with this task and I kept the changes here locally. And I would spend the day just doing whatever, bullshitting my way, walking around the area, going on some walks. I don't know, watching YouTube or whatever I wanted to do, watching anime, reading manga, whatever. And then before the end of the second day, like an hour or 2 hours earlier than it was due, I would submit it. And I would get praise for, oh, you did it so quickly. We thought it's gonna take you 48 hours and it only took you 46 hours. Wow, great job. That's how you do it. That's how you game the system. Because if I did that task in a day, then I would get future tasks with stricter schedule. Because if I can do it in a day, then I can do some other task in 4 hours. And since I didn't reveal that fact, I had plenty of free time. And none was the wiser. My superiors were happy with how quickly I'm doing my job. Nobody knew that I'm doing it much quicker than they think I'm doing it. Because people are like this lady, essentially. That's the normal rate. Yeah, give me a discount and whatnot. It's a mimic, of course, a classic. Here you can see the difference in the thickness of line art on his clothes. Really, really, really well. Really well. And on her helmet, you can see the jiggle. Has to be the same studio as Saitou and Paladin. Has to be. Also this animation, this shot composition. The fact that she carries her sword on her back with this little like nubbin and not a scabbard, because scabbard this big is impractical. Fran in Reincarnated as a Sword actually has a scabbard, that makes sense. But this seems to be much, maybe not much, but a little bit lower fantasy. So they probably don't have a magic scabbard. And she makes do with a hook. And it's great because it works. It's something that you could reasonably do in real world. Not so much her armor, but her, whatchamacallit, her sword for sure. Some really cool, really detailed animation. Great shot composition. Again, I'm gonna talk about that a little. Armored Warrior Raelza. And of course, she's the type that easily embarrassed and hides it underneath her helmet. And she's interested in Saitou because of course she is. And I don't mind it whatsoever. It's fine. It's fun. I'm having fun. Are you having fun? If so, then that's fine. That's what matters, to have fun. And I'm having fun with those two. She's self-conscious about the scar. Oh no, a woman of war like me can never find love. You know the archetype. But she will find love. Of course she will. Hopefully she will. Fix bags, collect trash, look for lost dogs. And of course she has a weakness for dogs and other cute things in general. And indeed, she is self-conscious about the scarring and about being a big, tough warrior lady and not a fair maiden. I really think this is the same studio that made Saitou and Paladin, or at least the same art director or something. The color palette. Muted, pastel, very beige, very grey, but not like dull grey. I guess kind of dull, but there is some color, right? It's not like sad grey. It has some life to it. It has some actual like color. Despite not having color, I don't know how to better put it in words. Props for the chest. Great visuals on that. Morlock, the wizard. And he's a great wizard, but he has dementia and Alzheimer's and whatnot. He doesn't come to meetings. He gets merged with a golem, fused with a golem. Yeah. He forgets chanting. He forgets which party he belongs to. He forgets the faces of his compatriots. He forgets that he's alive. I know it's played for laughs, but it's actually kind of fucking tragic, isn't it? That's one of my biggest fears in life. that I or one of my loved ones is gonna have dementia or Alzheimer's or whatnot, and they're just gonna, or I'm gonna become a shell of what they or I used to be. That's fucking tragic. That's horrible. Like, genuinely, I believe it's one of the worst things that can happen to a human being. Dementia and Alzheimer's. There is some progress in trying to find like a cure and or at least preventative measures against Alzheimer's, some vaccine I heard, but it's still a problem, alas. Do your crosswords, do your mind games, Sudoku, all that stuff. It really helps you. So I heard, at least. So I hope it helps me. But the party was wiped, and he still dragged all of the bodies. Where did he get the coffins from? That's a question I have. Doesn't matter. He's a certified badass. Dragged all the bodies. And as long as you have a body, you can bring people to life. And apparently sold all the armor and all the gear, all the equipment, except fucking chainmail bikini. Not even chainmail, plate bikini and helmet. Why was my bikini armor the only thing you didn't sell? Why do you have bikini armor? I guess she's like an armor collector. She has whole rows of different armor that she likes to dress up into every now and then. Fairy Lafanpan, the healer of the party, but she values gold. Question I have, why is the gold CG? Now, don't get me wrong, it actually works somewhat decent. It even... No, it doesn't quite merge with their fingers. Her thumbs are underneath it, and it kinda goes through her arm. Oh, I just spat out some saliva. And you can see by the reflections that it is CG, but the line art around it is the same, like choppy, squiggly, scratchy, uneven kind of line art, which is great. But yeah, you can see that it's CG. Her fingers are clipping here. Her whole palm is, the right palm is clipping through it. Yeah. It's not done well, I'm afraid, unfortunately. There are some bits and pieces of CG in the show that I noticed that were done well. Coins are not one of those. And of course, he can make some leather bags. I think those scissors are CG, and the tools in general, but I don't know. This might be CG, but I don't know. I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is. Maybe his whole hand is... I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And at this point, I don't care. If CG is so good that I can't tell it's CG, it might as well not be CG, right? If I made it like I would for a human, then there'd be no space for the wings. So here we have your very special backpack. Measurements, of course, centimeters, the superior measurement. And they are using Madoka. So the length of a dick of a former ruler, and stuff her up in a condom and use as a dildo, I guess. I don't know what are those flashes to other parties, other members, other people. I'm assuming they're going to join our party sooner or later, or they're going to interact with Saito in one way or another. Because why would they set them up, right? Dwarf Magician. He just has 2 shields, gets into the midst of enemies, and as they're futilely futilely is not a word, is it? As they are wailing on him with no effect, he has the time to do a full chant and just blow himself up. This is such a badass shot, such a badass scene. I fucking love it. This dialogue with this voice and this delivery and this slow shot with like glancing upwards, blood splattering. I love it. I love this character. I love the heavy magic tank. I genuinely do. I wish I played D&D. Although with recent controversies, I guess I wish I played Pathfinder, not D&D. Because this would be my character. For sure. If I ever get to play a session, I'm gonna make heavy magic tank dwarf for sure. Because it seems like hell of a lot of fun. Being alone, sometimes the nights get a little lonely, so he has a puppy. Puppy with opposable thumbs or something, and a spear. A spear puppy. Sure. And here, yeah, we have the expectation of, oh, a girl with twin tails. She's probably a magical girl, idol archetype. She's gonna get the staff and she's gonna do the wink, blink, Kira, right? And he is a warrior with scars and heavy armor, so he's gonna grab the pole axe. Haha, you thought. With GH, thought, not THOT. Yeah, she's just young Rory Mercury, isn't she? I love the armored dress. That's an armor type that I really do like. I have a weakness for armored dresses, for like plate dresses. Put some steel scales on it and chef's kiss. He can use an abacus, of course he can. Humans have 10 fingers, yeah. Although there are some human enclaves. I don't know if tribes is the correct word to use it. Cultures, maybe that's why I'm gonna say it. There are some cultures in our world, on Earth, actually existing, that use base 12 system, for example. And the base 12 system is in many ways superior because 12 can be easily divided by 2, by 3, and by 4. Meanwhile, base 10 system can easily be divided by 2 and by 5. It's less divisible. I guess that's also why parts, bits, and pieces of the Imperial system are 12 based, because they're better divisible. I love the armor. I love the details on this armor. It doesn't seem CG because the lines kind of shift, kind of wiggle, kind of wriggle between frames, so it cannot be CG. I love it. It really reminds me of Arbedo's armor from Overlord. And she's just here to spy on her boyfriend, of course. And she's embarrassed of the armor. I love this shot. I love this piece of art of her hand. All those highlights and shadows. Ah, it's a feast. It's a visual feast, let me tell you. Normally you would see it done in CG, but not here. It's not CG. It's 2D. It's perfect. It's amazing. I love it. And she has excused herself because, of course, if you were curious, you should have just gone with him, but her ears are burning, so she couldn't have, of course. She's too embarrassed. A maiden in love. CG coins again, that's gonna be a thing, isn't it? Just a dull blade I found in a dungeon that I cast attack increase magic on. That's actually kinda ingenious. You pick up a random sword, you cast a temporary increased attack magic on it, and you try to sell it as a better sword than it is. Cool. sword blade comes off, apparently. How did he know? How did anybody know? I don't know. But it's good that it does. Yeah, he just randomly says that the sword blade comes off. How did he know that, though? I mean, good for them. For sure. And he's forgetting the chance, because of course he is. And he has feelings, Saito has feelings of inadequacy, because of course he has feelings of inadequacy. Everybody would feel inadequate, just thrown into a fantasy world without any skills but their real life skills, right? If you were to actually be thrown into that world without any skill in magic or swordsmanship or any cheat skill or anything like that, you would also feel inadequate. Anybody would. Teach me magic. Unfortunately, probably not that easy. But remembering the chants is enough, thankfully. I love the build-up here. I really thought that he remembered the chant and that it's gonna be some big-ass explosion. But no, I love how the light from his staff is slowly retracting. Like, oh, I guess you don't know the chant. Let's go back. And yeah, as I said, two halves of a wizard, Saito having the half of remembering the chants, and Morlock having the half of being able to use those chants, make up one whole wizard. So their party has a functional wizard, a tank melee warrior, and a healer. Decently good composition. Also, Saito makes for a thief artificer kind of archetype. And a big explosion! Some cool shots, some cool animation. Yeah, the fluttering cape. Goblins disintegrating. I don't have any magic, so I can't do magic. But yeah, he can memorize the incantations. This is just Arifureta. And that's how... What was his name? What was the name of the main character of Arifureta? I forgot. I'm like not Merlock, Morlock. I forgot. No, can't remember. Hajime. Hajime also started in a pool of water, all battered and bruised and broken, but the water was healing, so he healed up real quick. So it's kind of sort of parallel to Arifureta. I was hoping they're gonna make a little bit of a their own spin on it, kind of jab, maybe not a jab, but kind of a, whatchamacallit, not a cameo, but their own version of Arifureta beginnings, kinda, sorta, but then they're just gonna subvert it in some way. And yeah, of course, all the negative feelings, emotions, it would be better to give up on it. If something bad happened, what would we do? There's a chance that it's another mimic, yeah. It wasn't a mimic, it was a trap. Set his legs straight. Interesting detail that the deeper you go into this dungeon, I'm assuming. I don't know where they are exactly. Is it just a single dungeon? Is there more dungeons? I don't know. Because it's a very short form, short, disjointed, mostly stories. Interesting that the deeper you go, the weaker the magic gets. To the point where if you're on this depth, not even the fairy can fly because she uses magic to fly. Even though it's something inherent to her, it's an inherent ability. And here, doubt sets in. If you don't like it, then quit. I guess he did quit in the end. And in his despair, I don't know, committed unlive, or he fell victim to Track-kun, or what happened exactly? We don't know that. But I'm assuming we will learn about it sooner or later. Thankfully, flashlights don't need magic to work. A shining tube. And of course they're gonna come back for him. Because he genuinely is the only one. He can fix things, he can lockpick, he can do all sorts of stuff. That world I had always envisioned, could I have found it? Morlock was looking at things. I was honestly expecting them to Morlock to be like, oh yes, let's go. And he turns around and they go, and then the camera is panning and there's like a big huge diamond or something on the wall. And if they bothered to explore this cave, they would have found treasure. But no, nothing of the sort it seems. And that's it. That's the ending with opening music, ending music, hard to tell. We will see probably in the second episode. We will see the opening and ending proper. Should it have a proper ending? It's probably gonna have a proper opening, although that's also not a given. Okay, that does it for watching it again. And now, as promised, we need to take a look at the details of the show. So let me quickly grab window capture. There we go. Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku. And here we have all the characters. Here's the dwarf shielder. Here's the scepter guy and the axe lolly. Here's our main team, and we have like a healer, a paladin maybe, a wizard, a warrior of some sort, another healer, monk kind of guy. We'll see. We'll see in the future. So let's start with the studio. Studio C2C. What did you make, C2C? Tensei Shitaraken deshita, really? Maho no Tabitai. They did not make Saihate no Paladin. Color me surprised. Perhaps the staff is similar though. Interesting. Tensei Shitaraken deshita was another show in the previous season that was kind of a, maybe not quite a highlight of it, but kind of was, kind of a hidden gem. It also had some really cool art, really cool animation, and in this season it's Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku. Interesting. Okay, I really was expecting search anime. What was the studio? No, not Saihate. Saihate no Paladin. Who made Saihate no Paladin? One studio. Children's Playground Entertainment. And they aren't set to have made anything in the past year or in 2023. Hopefully they are working on something and haven't dissolved. Saihate no Paladin Season 2 has to happen. Maybe they renamed themselves to C2C? I don't know. C2C also had some releases in 2019, 2018, 17, 15. They date back as early as 2011. So it can't be the same studio. Producers, of course, plenty. Kadokawa, Green Entertainment, ATX, BS Nitel. Recommendations: Isekai OG-san, Isekai Shokudo, Tondemo Skill de Isekai Houro Meshi. I read the manga. The manga is great. Maybe I'm gonna watch the anime. Maybe, probably, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That was the studio. Now I want to take a look at the staff. Director, for sure. Toshiyuki Kubooka. Also directed Maho no Tabitai, Shangri-La Frontier, some Berserk, apparently Idolmaster, and some older anime that I can't have any recollection of. Mostly key animation though. Started his directing career with some old anime, episode director and full director on Berserk. Okay. Next person. Composition. Composition was cool, so I definitely do want to check out the composition. And we don't have anybody else listed. Well, that sucks. Kenta Ihara. Serious composition. Also script on Yojo Senki second season. Also script on Benriya Saitou-san. Also script on Isekai OG-san, Tomodachi Game. Some other Isekai series. Yojo Senki. Okay, so he's from Studio Nut. Or at least worked with Studio Nut. And also Ajin and Vinland Saga. I really don't have much to work with, do I? Let me Google this series and find it on Mal, hopefully. My anime list. There we go. Characters and staff. Staff in particular is what I'm interested in. Those are characters and voice actors. There we go. There's some staff. That's what I wanted to see. Theme song. Art director. Let's see. Art director Kashimura Asuka. Asuka Kashimura, if you will. Background art on Gleipnir. Boruto Gintama. Pokemon card fight. No role in Psyhead and a Paladin, oddly enough. Who else do we have? Chief animation director, I do want to check out. Background art, for sure. Okay, so chief animator, Yasuyuki Noda. Also animation director on ReZero, Mahoka Koko no Rettosei, Gotobun no Hanayome, Eminence in Shadow, Achikochi, Precon, key animation on Aono Exorcist movie, Comic Girls, and some older shows. And Shibata Chikako Shibata, background art. Also art director in Toradora, background art for an episode of Durarara. Art director for Higurashi no Nakokoro Nikai from 2007. Art director on Rosenmaiden. On Endro, Yuri Yuri, more Rosenmaiden. Okay. And that about does it. I guess color design, I guess I want to check out as well. Masato Takagi. Also color design on Cardcaptor Sakura from 98. Maho no Tabitai color design. Tensei Shitaraken Deshita color design. Anything else I would recognize? Not really. Okay, interesting. I could have sworn that it's the same studio that made Psyhead and a Paladin, but I'm proven wrong. Let's take a look at the voice actors then. That's quite the list. I guess we're not gonna go through all of them. We're just gonna go through the main cast. Or at least the people who appeared so far in the show. So, Saito, voiced by Ryohei Kimura. Ryohei Kimura also voiced who? Nobody I recognize. Plenty of Bishonens, it would seem. And an ape from Odd Taxi. Thomas in Isekai Shokudo. Haven't seen Isekai Shokudo. Just to clarify. Johnson in Dorodoro. That's a role I recognize, at least. One of them. Nobody else, though. Oh, okay, some minor character in Overlord Season 3. Eria Uzruth. And... someone in Boku no Hero Academia. Haikyuu. Token Ranbu. I don't recognize any of those characters. Shura from Akame ga Kill. Brazdi Blood from Blood Lad. Oh, it's been ages since I watched Blood Lad. I need to rewatch it one day. It was a genuinely cool series. Maybe there's a manga that goes beyond the anime. I'm gonna have to read that, I guess. Plenty of roles, but none I would recognize, unfortunately. And then anime staff roles. Okay. Next is Raelza, who was voiced by Fairuz Ai. I recognize this name, although I can't think of any characters that she would have voiced. At least not off the top of my head. Anarchy from Mahou Shoujo Magical Destroyers. That seems like a fun title. Let me open it in a new tab. I might check it out one day. Power in Chainsaw Man, of course. Joylin in JoJo. Someone in Kagegurui. Someone in Fate. Someone in shows I don't recognize. Hibiki from Danberu Nankiro Moteru. That's a character I do recognize for sure. And the other are just anime staff roles, singing openings and endings and stuff like that. Next we have Lapanpan, voiced by Nao Toyama, who also voiced Elf Archer in Goblin Slayer Season 2 and possibly also in Season 1. Ruka from Kanojo Okarishimasu. Chiho in Hataraku Mao-sama. That's a character I know. Karina in those frontline, girls frontline, if you will. Roles in Fate, in Kumodeska. Rin in Eurocamp. That's a character I know. And other roles as well. Xena. Oh, she voiced Xena in Danberu Nankiro Moteru. Interesting. PP-me, but who hasn't voiced PP-me? Everybody voiced PP-me at this point. Victim in Overlord. That's an odd one out. Which one doesn't belong? Spot the difference. Shiori in Symphogear. Some people in Kankore. And other characters. Oh, Chitoge in Nisekoi. Rereira Rerena in Gate. That's a character I recognize. Although the voice is different from the fairy. Lutgarnikov in Military. Another show that kind of went under the radar. Nobody really talks about it. Military was weird. Kind of cool. Kind of an interesting watch for sure. Don't expect like high cinema from it, but it was fun for what it was. And anybody else? Momoko in Sakura Sono Pet Nakanojo. That's a lot of roles, so I'm just gonna end it here. Morlock was voiced by Chu. Just Chu. Oh, that's a pseudonym. Shigeru Nagashima, or Yuichi Nagashima. Voiced Brook in One Piece. There's gonna be a plenty of old man roles, I can already tell. But none I would particularly recognize, I'm afraid. Ogrion from Overlord 3, he didn't really get much screen time, did he? Someone in Boruto. Yeah, mostly just old guys. Akaneya in Look Horizon. More Brook. And I think that's gonna do it. Mostly just, yeah, just old guys. Secondary characters. No protagonists. And here we're entering older shows that I don't exactly have a recollection of. So we're gonna stop here. Mivena, the shop lady, she also voiced Serika in Blue Archive. Interesting. Serika's voice. Hatsune from Picon. Vodka from Umamusu. Plenty of gacha roles from what I can see. And some anime roles in 2020, it seems. No, mostly just gacha. Mostly gacha. Still mostly gacha. Yayaka in Flip Flappers. That's a character I do recognize for sure. Kurame from Akame ga Kiru. Momokain from Sabagebu. If you have like half an hour of spare time, do watch Sabagebu. It's an amazing show. Highly recommend it. And of course, yeah, Buddha Archive and other openings, endings, PVs. Givengle, the Shield Dwarf, voiced by Koichi Soma. That's a name I vaguely recognize. Who did he play? Oh, a couple of people in Tact of Destiny. Garm in Tensei Shitara Slime in Slimito, Slime Sekai. Also played mostly old guys. Paparin in TQ. TQ is another completely mad series. That's an interesting watch. And mostly just background roles, it seems. Like Kurafuku B, Terrorist B in Grisaya. Kurafuku B in Charlotte. Who else do we have? Liriza, played by Yumiri Hanamori, who voiced Seika Lamperouge. Oh, I thought it's Lamperouge, and they're gonna be talking about what's the series with the Lamperouge? I forgot. Hoshino from Blue Archive. Nadeshiko from Yuru Camp. Akira from Yofukashi no Uta. Finally, roles I recognize, characters I recognize. And no more, it seems. Someone in Shadow House, that's a series I have to watch one day. Dorwin's Game, Heiya Camp. Evil Eye from Overlord. It's crazy that Evil Eye and Nadeshiko share voice actor. And other characters. And lastly, Gibre, who we haven't really spent much time with, but why not? Hinata Tadokoro, who also voiced Tomato Demon in Chainsaw Man. Haven't seen Chainsaw Man. Didn't even know there's a Tomato Demon. Oh well, I guess I got spoiled. Noma in Golden Kamui. And no other roles. Yeah, that's an old match. And here we have some spoilers for future characters that are gonna appear. So I'm just not gonna look at it particularly much. Episode 3 airing in 2 days, 21 hours. It's 12 episodes, 24 minutes each. I was afraid it's gonna be like a half core, maybe like 6 episodes, 8. But no, it's full core. Cool. Cool. So, that was Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, episode 1. And I gotta say, I did enjoy my time spent with it. I very much did enjoy it. I went into it with no expectations and no knowledge of what it's gonna be, sorry. And I was not disappointed by what I've seen. I was expecting mediocre art, mediocre animation, kind of like the Alchemist show from the previous season. Didn't have the greatest art. Couple of cool moments, but overall not the best. That's what I was expecting. But lo and behold, I got something on the level of Sword Isekai, on the level of Sahet and Paladin, to the point where I'm still finding it hard to believe that it's not the same studio that made Sahet and Paladin. Maybe they shared the technology to make line art that looks like this or something. I don't know, hard to tell, but it's completely mad that they are not made by the same studio. Shit. I was expecting it to be a good and proper quote-unquote isekai, where we have the main character get isekai, and then they go on adventures, and he's finding himself in the world and whatnot. Instead, we're getting a bunch of disjointed, loose stories, where each lasts like 4, 5, 6 minutes, closer to 4 or 5 minutes, I guess. And it's another breath of fresh air, I guess. Because it's an isekai show, it's not purely comedic to the point of being yonkoma, but the format does keep things fresh, I guess you could say. We're completely cutting out delving into the dungeon. They just start in the dungeon and haha funny skit is what we're getting. We're skipping the getting acclimated to the world. We're skipping the explanations. We're skipping the travel. We're skipping meeting other members of the party. We're skipping Saito meeting Raelza and Morlock and Lafanpan. We're just getting thrown into the midst of it, and it's fun. It's fun to have something work this way, to just kind of skip, cut out any and all semblance of a downtime, and we just get the meat and potatoes. Yeah, definitely a sort of a gem of the season so far. I expected a generic seasonal isekai thing. I got something fresh, something interesting, something exciting, something fun, and something funny. I really did enjoy my time with it. It was really funny at times, it was really fun, but it wasn't just purely comedy skits and deadpan and tsukkomi and gags, visual or otherwise, right? It had some actual substance to it. And I hope in the span of those 12 episodes it eventually develops some kind of a narrative, some kind of a story. Even yonkomas usually do eventually develop some like overarching plot, besides maybe like Pop Tepi Pig. But that's its own thing, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it, for sure. I'm gonna watch episode 2 soon-ish, as soon as I can, and I'm gonna be waiting for episode 3. And that's an anime I'm gonna be waiting for every week, for sure. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I don't think I have anything more to say, and besides that, in 20 minutes I need to be somewhere. So, right now that's gonna be it from me, but maybe you have something more to add in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories? Did I have any? I guess I did have some. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Episode 2 is already out, there's already manga out, so you could spoil me things. Please don't. No spoilers. If you do want to talk spoilers, my Discord is here, also in the description. There's gonna be a Benriya Saitou-san rather channel that you can join, and you can talk spoilers to your heart's content, because I'm not gonna read them. Simple as. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, but also Symphogear and other shows that are gonna be coming in the future. We'll see what those are. You're gonna see what those are. I myself don't know all of them yet either. But seasonals coming, Madoka Magica Rebellion coming in the future, finale of Gundam Witch from Mercury also coming, so stay subscribed to be notified. I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell to be notified when I go live. Subscribe, already said that. Support the channel if you want monetarily. Patreon Throne, links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonals like Symphogear, Madoka and others. And for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And I also sometimes release seasonal stuff a little bit early on that tier if I just happen to record it a little early. On Throne you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better software, better hardware, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing, absolutely free, and helps the channel a lot, helps it grow, helps it spread. So right now, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And here's the list of my current amazing Patreons. You can be one of them, if only such is your desire.